Today we're going to show you a different way how to do the band ring. We're going to start off with a piece of nickel. It's 20 gauge and I cut it about 1/4 of an inch wide. And I'm going to wrap this all the way around the mandrel, right at size 7. And I'm going to let it overlap. You might have to fold it a little bit smaller so that then you can stretch it to the size that you want. So I have a mallet and I'm just going to lightly tap that so it goes round. Not hitting it very hard, but then I can see where it's going to overlap. I'm going to cut through both pieces at the same time, and I don't want to cut the mandrel, so I'm going to take the mandrel out and put the core in and cut through both pieces of metal at the same time. To adjust the length of the coping saw, this will slide when you loosen the wing nut that's back here, and put it in with this wing nut loose, and then these two are going to be tight. And then to tighten up the whole blade, you push this up a little bit with your finger or the palm of your hand, or even with your thumb. There isn't a right way and wrong way. And then when you tighten this, it's going to tighten up the blade, and you can hear how tight that is. To get this started, sometimes you have to cut a little bit through the core as you're cutting through the metal just to get it started. I also shoot for about a 45 degree, and when I'm cutting through both of these, we're going to get the same angle. We can lightly sand in between both of them at the same time, and we know that the seam isn't square, but they're the same angle. And it usually only takes about 30 seconds or so to sand the two sides of the ring. Okay, now we're going to do what's called spring load. And spring loading is where you push one side over and then that same side under. So you go over and under, and that builds up a little spring back here, so that when you get ready to solder it, has force or pressure against the seam. And because we cut it at the same time, same angle, those are lining up really nice. And if you can hear, it's kind of snapping in position. In order to start the torches, we need to push the red button, and the red button's good for 60 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and push that now. And then we also need to turn on the fan and the light. So this is exhaust fan here on the wall, so it's just like a light switch. When you turn it on, you can hear the fan rev up. And then to turn on all the lights on all the stations, there's a power strip up in the windowsill, and just turn all those on at once. That also gets the pickle bath warming up, and we're ready to start. I'm going to take my ring that I just got spring loaded. I'm going to put it in the third arm, and if you can hear, we have the exhaust fan going, and we just pushed the red button. So now we're ready to flux it and put the solder on. In order to flux it, we put the brush in the flux and flux the whole ring, inside, outside. If we have a little bit left over, we can kind of mop that up a little bit. So the chip of solder is very small. I like using the brush to put the little chip of solder right on the seam. And I like to straddle the seam with the chip of solder. Then you can just put the brush back, and we're now ready to light the torch. And you probably want about 2.5 to 3 inch flame, and that's before you add the oxygen. And then when you add oxygen, it's going to make it look like this flame goes smaller, but that's called a neutral flame. If you don't have enough oxygen it's gonna look a little bit feathered and sometimes even a little bit yellow on the end. If it's feathered, you need to add a little bit more oxygen. If you use too much oxygen, it'll start turning a little bit purple and sometimes even go out. Our goal is to get a neutral flame. So that's a neutral flame right there. The best way that this works is if we get the flame going straight up in the air, and we're going to evaporate the water that's in the flux. So to evaporate the water, you go a little bit on one side of the ring with your flame, a little bit on the other side, and you just kind of slowly move that back and forth, and that will slowly evaporate the water. Once you notice that there's no more water on there, you can get a little bit closer. If you notice the flux is turning white, and then you'll know you can go right underneath the seam. Once you go underneath the seam, you watch the solder, it went right in the seam. And then when you turn this off, turn off the oxygen first, and then turn off the gas, the natural gas, and hang your torch up. Remember just to turn off your torch just finger tight. This is going to be really hot. It got up to 1450 degrees, so we're going to hold on to it with the copper tongs and release the third arm by squeezing the handle, and then we're going to put it in the pickle bath. Shield your face with the lid, and it makes a psst sound. And then when you put it in the rinse water, that'll rinse off all the pickle bath, and now you can look at your ring. It's going to be all nice and soldered. You're going to see the silver line go right into your seam, and now we're ready to finish it, or in other words, file, sand, and buff. So I'm going to want to dry it up with a paper towel before I put it on the mandrel. We don't want water or pickle bath on the mandrel, so dry it up really nice. And right now it's definitely not round. It's a little bit off round. So when you put it on the mandrel, this is how you're going to make it round. And I like to put one finger on the back and pull down just a little bit as you're hitting the top. And you just slowly move that around, get all the angles. And I'm not hitting it too hard. Then you're going to turn this over, up over the end, turn it around, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Size 6 here and a size 8 here, and this is right on size 7, so we met our goal of getting it to the right size. Now we're going to show you how to file it, sand it, and buff it. Okay, to file it, for the inside, you're going to twist your file. And the most important place is right by the seam, right next to the seam. But there's a bunch of oxidation, which means the dark part, and you're going to want to file all that off. And you just keep twisting. I'm kind of twisting and pushing at the same time. Most of the work's done on the push side. If you want to kind of let it glide back, that's fine, but do most of the pressure, most of the effort on the push side. That's how you do the inside. On the outside, similar, but you're going to push round. So I'm pushing mostly where the seam is, kind of giving it support underneath. Turn it a little bit. And either put your hand or arm on the table or tuck your elbow into your side so you can put a lot of pressure. It takes a lot of pressure, and I'm just going to file that until the seam's gone. Okay, we have all the outside filed. Now I'm going to return to the inside and finish it up. And if you'd like to use the electric sander works pretty well on the inside also. So let's show you how to do the electric sander. To put the sandpaper on, you roll it up so there's about 2 or 3 layers, and then the sandpaper goes over one of the fingers, and as the sandpaper's aiming up, the sandpaper, this grit has to be toward you. Then when you put your ring on there, the sandpaper is going to sand the inside. Since it's electrical, I have my safety glasses on. You turn on the fan and the light. I'm going to move this over just a little bit so you can see the light better. And when I turn this on, it's going to start spinning, so hold on to your ring, and that'll sand the inside. Kind of moving around a little bit. Yes, it does get your fingers just a little bit, but it doesn't hurt, it's not hot. If you leave it on there a long time, yeah, it'll get hot. And then you check it, see how close it is to being done. Just after a few seconds, it's already done. It might need a little bit more on the seam. Some people just leave the machine going, push the sandpaper up, put your ring back on the sandpaper, push just a little bit more. So now we're going to show you how to sand the outside. Since we sanded the inside, the outside is similar, but we're just going to go back and forth. With the file, we have to push one direction because there's teeth on it, but with the sandpaper, we can go back and forth. And you just go around, so filing's round, sanding's round, and then when we show you how to do the buffing will also be round. Also, just kind of a side note while I'm sanding this is 180 grit. It's usually on the back. This one just kind of got cut off. 180 grit means 180 grains per square inch. So this, in the jewelry world, that's pretty rough. And we get as much as we can off with the 180. Then when we think that we're done with the 180, which we're almost done with the 180, then we can move to the 320. And the 320 is quite a bit finer. It only has, well, it has more sand per square inch. There's 320 grains per square inch. And I'm going to sand all the way around my ring on this. I could even go up to 500, 800, keep on getting finer and finer. And then right before I buff, I could even use the emery cloth. This is emery cloth. This side is 2000 grit, so it's very smooth. And the other side is 4000 grit. So you're basically polishing it. But there's a faster way, and that's with the buffers. So we're going to show you how to do the buffers right now. With the buffers, we turn on the fan and the light on the side, and then up front we have the on and off switch. This is going really fast, and that's what does all the work for you. We put a little bit of buffing compound on the wheel. When you work with the wheel, you need to use the front bottom quarter. So don't use it too high, don't use it too low, but right in the middle, right about where 7 or 8 o'clock if this were a wheel. And I just put on a couple seconds worth of buffing compound. Let's show you how to use the inside buffer. We're going to, same thing with this, we're going to turn on the fan, turn on the light, and then in front is the on switch. This looks like a little finger, and that goes on the inside of your ring. We still need to put a little bit of buffing compound on there. Just coat the wheel with the buffing compound. And with this, you kind of rotate it around the wheel. Okay, for the final step, we'll want to take the emery cloth and use the 4000 grit side and just do the final touches on your ring. And this is what's going to make it look nice and shiny, nice and polished. And the outside's fairly easy. You just go around in a circle. You're actually getting a little bit of the buffing compound off of your ring at the same time. And then for the inside, you can just roll this up and do the same thing on the inside. And if you want to engrave it, the next step would be the engraving. You can engrave the inside, you can engrave the outside, and it's just the right size. Size 7. Looks nice. Okay.